After doing a multitude of different 0% AI challenges on F124, I've really learned through experience just how terribly slow they are. So, I've been wondering, how many times can I lap the 0% AI during a full-length race? Alright, so I've chosen to do this around Bahrain, because it's a very comfortable track for me. And as always, we're going to be starting last on the grid, so crashing the car in qualifying here.
Goodbye, back to the lobby.
Alright, so we're going to be doing a two-stop race, soft tires, and then mediums for the final stint. Alright, just jumping right into it. At the very back of the grid, 5 red lights are coming on, we've got 57 laps to go, and we are off against 0% AI. We should probably be in first place by the end of this lap. If we're not, that'll be a little bit embarrassing, but I guess we'll see what happens. Anyway, late braking into turn 1, up the inside, passing half the field, and going 3 wide around this tight turn. A little bit of contact with Carlos Sainz, who's in a Red Bull sandwich right there. Luckily, we can kind of break free. These cars like to stick together sometimes. Unfortunately, Leclerc blocks us around the outside. Luckily, we can go to the inside and get those two into one corner. So already in the top 5, maybe make that 4 if we can get around Lando right there, which we can't, but we'll get him in the next corner. But definitely a very good start so far to this race. A lot of clean moves, a little bit awkward around Fernando Alonso, breaking up the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and already into second place before Sector 1 is even complete. So we're going to go for a move on Russell here, up the inside. Sector 1 is complete, and we're also in first place. So, last place to first in the first sector. Good start. So like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a two-stop race. So soft tires, and then mediums for the final stint. Pitting. Well, British, pitting.
I'm meeting me mates down at the pub.
What I was trying to say is that pit stops are going to be a little bit interesting. I'm really going to avoid coming out in traffic. Obviously, cutting up through traffic with 0% AI can really slow you down. So I'm going to make sure I avoid traffic, which might mean either extending a stint or cutting a stint short. I'm really going to try to come out in clean air. So, yeah. Alright, lap 7 now. You can see the gap to Lando behind is over a minute, so we should be closing in on these Haas cars. Ah, here we go. Alright, our first targets to be lapped. Both the Haas cars, they're they're struggling for pace compared to the rest of the field. They're really far behind everyone, but this is going to be easy pickings for us around the outside of the first one, and we're going to be drag racing Kevin Magnussen, but first 2 cars lapped. Alright, well the Haas cars were a little bit far behind. It's on lap 8 now, so a lap later, and we've caught up to the Saubers. I do think the first couple times we lap the cars is going to take the longest, because if you look at the map on the left there, everyone is still semi-bunched up together. Once we get everyone a lot more spread out, we're going to be lapping constantly. Up the inside of Ricardo. Alright, Ocon and Albon. Alright, we're gonna get 2 right here. Very nice. Going past Tsunoda now. That was a little awkward. Goodbye. Alright, we got Alonso up front on the main straight now. So we're on lap 9, and this is the top 5 runners. So this is where we'll complete a lap on the entire field. You can see it's gonna pop up. Alonso down 1 lap. So there we go, just a couple cars in front, and we'll be a full lap ahead. All right, we should be able to get Russell through the S's right here. There we go, and now Lando is the last target. This is a little bit of an awkward corner to make an overtake. I don't really think we can go for anything up the inside. It's going to be right behind him, and then just pulling traction on the straight right here. And we should be able to outmuscle Lando. He's actually putting up a little bit of a fight, but into the braking zone. There we go, he's going to brake 100 meters too early. So, alright, that's 1 full lap of the entire field. So like I said, the first few laps, well, I guess we're on lap 13, it's not the first few anymore, but the first ones are going to be the longest ones to lap, because the field is kind of all on one side of the track. But once everyone spreads out naturally through the course of the race, we'll be able to pass people like left and right. Here are the Haas cars again. So this is 5 laps in, and I think last time we had 7 laps to catch up to the Haas cars. So we're definitely making forward progress. Passing Nico Hulkenberg, gonna get Magnussen through the S's, maybe around the outside here. A little bit awkward. All right, there we go. So starting lap 2. All right, lap 16, it's gonna be 17. I believe our pit window is opening. There we go, yeah, so we're supposed to pit this lap or, through lap 19. we're going to see. I think I'm going to wait until I can get another full lap done past Lando and then pit after that. Here's some excitement. We can go up the inside of Ricardo into this corner, and then we've got a big train of cars in front, like 4 or 5 cars in front. So we should be able to make a lot of progress through this first sector of lap 17 now. And this is, again, on our second time lapping the field. Up the inside of Ocon right there, really just cutting up through those guys, through the S's. Behind Lance Stroll now, the best driver on the grid, Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll finds himself off the road on the formation lap.
But no problem whatsoever. Up the inside of Lance Stroll, and we make it through nice and clean. Catching up to the front runners now, we see Leclerc in front in 6th place. So around him, and we get past Alonso, we'll see that 2-lap indicator pop up on the leaderboard on the left right there, past Alonso, and that means we're almost done with our second full lap of the field, and we're not even close to halfway through this race. Hello, George. Goodbye, George. Yet again, we meet Lando at this same corner. It's either turn 8 or turn 9. It's a little awkward to overtake into here, unless you're really close and you can get side by side. We're going to try to go for the outside here and just try to get enough traction off the corner exit. And there we go, DRS enabled, and that is a full 2 laps ahead of the entire field. All right, so since we passed Lando this lap, we're on lap 19 now. Our pit window opened 2 laps ago. He's probably going to pass us in the pits, but if you look on the map, you see Lando and George Russell are the closest to. We'll probably come out behind them, but there's a good pocket of clean air, so we're not going to come out, you know, in a bunch of traffic and lose a lot of time. So, yeah, I think decent strategy, I think. And I was correct. Other cars are coming to the pit lane, so Russell and Norris are the 2 ahead. We got to get past Russell again. On to the main straight now. Lando Norris is in the pit lane, so we're back to being an even 2 laps ahead, and this time we're going to be a lot closer to the rest of the field. Here we go. Big group of cars in front. This is all the rear runners, I believe. This is both the Haas cars, one of the Saubers, and you can see the other Sauber is in front. Valtteri Bottas is just up the road there, heading into turn 1. This looks like we might be able to go for a double overtake into turn 1 as long as these guys line up and race nicely. One of the Haas cars is pulling alongside. I'm going to shoot up the middle in between both the cars into turn 1. What a move right there. Definitely didn't really have to go for that, but it it looked pretty cool. That was very satisfying. You know, I gotta say, you guys are lucky this video is edited, because 57 laps is a lot of laps, and it can be a little boring when I'm not overtaking cars, just lapping around an empty track trying to catch up to really slow cars. So yeah. Here we go again. Lando Norris on lap 27 around the outside into the final corner of the lap, and that is 3 laps ahead of the entire field. Oh, man.
Later.
Caught up to Lando on the main straight, so we can definitely go for something into turn 1. Probably a move up the inside. It's likely he'll kind of stick to the racing line. Late braking, side by side into the braking zone, into turn 1, and that now puts us 4 laps in front of the entire field. All right, I'm gonna box this lap. We've got a good space to Lando behind, and after him, there's not really anything on the track. So we'll have a good, nice, clear window to come out with no traffic. And since we've pitted a little bit late on both these stints for soft compound tires, our mediums are going to be a little bit better for the end of the race. So maybe that'll give us a little bit of an edge. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. So Lando passes us in the pit lane. He's 3 laps down now instead of 4, so we just got to catch up to him, and then we continue our progress. Okay, here's Lando, gonna pass him, and that again will put us in 4 laps in front of the rest of the field. Passing Lando around the outside, and now we gotta catch up to everyone else again. So here we go. Oh man, lap 41 of 57 up the inside of Alonso, and a move on Leclerc. He's a little bit fat and wide on the racing line. Luckily, we have enough turning radius to get up the inside. And goodbye. Here's Lando again. We always seem to find him on this on this part of the track for some reason. But passing him is going to put us a full 5 laps in front of the entire field, up the inside, battery enabled. 5 laps ahead. You know what's really shocking is I haven't made any, like, major race-ending mistakes, and I'm 44 laps in. Here's the Haas cars again. So we've already made a couple overtakes this lap, so we're already up into the 6 lap range. We're already lapping part of the field 6 times. So, it's just getting stupid, man. So I think I'm only going to count this as full laps against the field. For example, like we need to pass Lando for it to count as a complete full lap of the field, obviously, right? So like if we get 6 laps on the rest of the field, but Lando's only 5 laps behind, then that doesn't count for the rest of the field. You know what I mean? Like in order for this to count, does that make any sense? Hello, George. Goodbye, George. Oh, look at this. Carlos Sainz is getting held up by the Williams of Logan Sargent. He can't seem to get past, so we'll show him how it's done. Gonna go for a move, maybe around the outside. Doesn't look like a lot of space. Gonna switch to the inside. Braking at 100 meters. And easy peasy. That's how it's done, buddy. Lando, yet again, 6 laps is gonna be the difference once we get past him. Here we go. 6 full laps ahead of the field. That's crazy. All right, lap 51 of 57. We've already passed a couple cars on this lap, so a portion of the field is down 7 laps. I think we can pass Lando again. I think we can do it. Okay, we got Ricardo in front, so I've been trying to do some mental math here up the inside right there. I've been trying to do some mental math to see if it's possible to get Lando 7 laps in front. I don't really know. It's gonna really be close. I think it's gonna come down to the last lap. Lap 52 now. We've got Gasly in front, so almost half the field is 7 laps down. And we've got 5 laps remaining to try to catch up to Lando. It's really going to be tight. Lap 53 now, closing in on Sonoda. This one might be kind of awkward, really. Last second getting through right there. Sergio Perez. It's honestly not that unrealistic that I'm lapping Perez 7 times. That guy needs to... He's got to get it together, man. Whoa, okay. That's a really close one. They really just park it on the racing line. Only a few laps left, and we're still not within the top 5, dude. This is tough. Made up a lot of time in that braking zone to Sainz, but I think still a little bit too far back. It's gonna be really awkward into the S's around the outside. Oh my god, that was close to a crash there. Oh man. Here we go, coming up to the top 5 now. So we've got Alonso. We can probably just out-muscle him on the straight right there. Okay, very good. So we've got Leclerc and someone in front. I can't see what car that is. It's a lap car. It's Logan Sargent, who's held up 2 of the Ferraris on different laps. That's crazy. They gotta learn how to pass them. Okay, now we've got Russell yet again up the inside. If we can make it stick side by side into the corner, and we get past him.
Okay, this is your final lap.
Final lap of the race now. Lap 57 of 57. It's been over an hour on this track right now, and we're 7 laps ahead of the majority of the field. The only one that's left is Lando Norris. This is gonna be really, really close. Lando's still a couple of corners ahead, so I still have to pass the Sauber that's behind him, which has a chance to slow me down, and then I have to catch Lando and pass him. So that's gonna be really tight. Oh my god, big kick oversteer off the curb. That was that was almost really bad. All right, well, luckily we kept the car on track right there. We're behind the Sauber, so we gotta try to get past very smoothly. He's really parking it on the racing line, so slow to get past. Such an awkward corner to overtake. Anyway, on the main straight now, Lando Norris is the last guy to focus on, and we should be able to get him within a couple of corners here. The AI seem to be really, really slow through this high-speed section. At the end of Sector 2, he's going to lift, I think, on the curb right there, around the outside. And that puts us 7 laps ahead of the entire field. Oh my god. That was crazy. It came down to the final lap. One of the last couple of corners on the final lap. And we get Lando to put us 7 ahead. Absolutely insane. An hour and a half later, and across the line, 57 laps of Bahrain. Oh my god, I need a beer after that. That was a lot.
There's been a huge push.